What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be covering Papa Roach, Last Resort. We're going to be just doing that intro riff in this video, and in another video we'll do the chorus. So go ahead and grab your acoustic or electric. Let's put this in drop D and let's get that intro riff started. Alright guys, so remember this is in drop D tuning. The way we're going to be learning this one is a little out of order. Let's learn the bass notes first, meaning this. And then we'll learn the main riff right after. So the bass notes, I want you to think of these differently so you could see this easier instead of just trying to memorize this stuff. So when I do this, I'm looking at fret 7, first finger, 5th string. Then I'm going to go from there with my pinky to fret 12, 6th string, fret 12. Then from there I'm going to go fret 10, middle finger, 6th string. And this one we're going to do a little different. I'll explain that when we get there. And then fret 9, 6th string. So we got this 10. I'm sorry, we got 7, 12, 10, 9. Those are your bass notes. You're always going to be coming back to these in that order. And you'll know when it hits with the song because it's going to be hitting all these chords. But we're not going to worry about those chords in this lesson video. I'm just letting you know when you hear the song, it's going to line up with those downbeats. Dun-it, dun-it. So when I hit that, dun-it, 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 dun-it. Okay? So now, the main part that revolves around all those notes is this. So understand where the outline goes for the bass notes first. Now this part, we're using 2 fingers, middle finger, first finger. It's going to go 10, 9, 10 on the 5th string. Up, down plucking, alternate plucking for the whole thing. 10, 9, 10. 9 on the 4th string. And then once again, 10, 9, 10. So if you look at it, it's 10, 9, 10. 4th string, 9th, 10, 9, 10. That's the whole thing. So the idea about that though is you want to make sure everything sounds nice and even and everything sounds where there's no pausing. So it's not like this. It's hold the notes legato until you come back. Okay, so those are the main things. So let's put this as 2 different things and put them together. So we got... That's the first thing you want to see because you want your eyes to go there and know where you're going before you get there. You're targeting those notes because then the rest of it goes between them. So let me do this slow. I'm doing that, I'm phrasing them where I'm pausing so you can see how they line up together. So now I'm just going to do that as a whole thing real quick. Now, let's talk about technique. Notice how when I held these notes, I played this really slow and really evenly. The tricky part though is going to come when you line up the other fingers as you play this riff with the bass notes. So let me explain. The first part's not so hard. You first finger fret 7, then to that main riff right there. First hard part probably for most people is going to be this pinky jump. What's going to happen here is you need to give yourself enough leverage on your thumb. You can't have your thumb this high and then expect to get that pinky note. So what I do is I have my thumb a little bit more in front of my first finger. Let me take this all away. It's right here around these 2 frets. And I have it in the middle of the guitar. The reason for that is because so I could get that stretch. I'm not doing this when I play. What I'm doing is I make sure I have the guitar at a good level to my body. It's not too low, so I have to go lower. I have it propped up on a footstool. And I almost dropped my footstool. But I have it propped up. And when I play that note, my hand does kind of come up a little bit, but I don't drop my wrist fully. Okay, so when I do that, I don't do that. I make sure my pinky is nice and straight, and I just overlap it right there on that 6th string. So now, let's work those two real quick. Next hardest part is going to be this middle finger on fret 10 string 6, because you're coming off it from the 10 9 10. So what you're going to do is you got to get used to this roll kind of thing, unless you want to just use your first finger, but I don't recommend that. So you're going to roll from fret 10 string 5 to fret 10 string 6. So it's going to be this. So what I'm doing here is I'm flat on fret 5, and let me put a little imprint so you can see my middle finger. I'm going at it right flat. And then I'm going to roll to the tip of my first finger. Flat, roll. I'm going to try to make impressions on the fingers so you can see both together. Flat part, rolled part. Flat part, rolled part. So. Flat, rolled. So, easy, pinky, make sure stretch over. I stayed flat on this one, then I rolled. Now, I don't have to hit flat for all the notes. I just hit it flat or for the roll part on the last one. So I don't go like this. No, it's just, I'm on the tips of my fingers the whole time until I do the roll. So. Now notice when I come back into the 10 9 10 part, I have to roll back. That is a little tricky, but it's the same idea. You just roll back and then keep playing on the tips of your fingers once you're out of that little box. Then the next one, this is probably an easy one as well. Fret 9, first finger, string 6. That's the whole riff, guys. Okay, so you want to just work this nice and slow. And before I make a video on that, which I'm going to do a little later, let's also now switch into palm muting. So this riff is played exactly the same, but he adds palm mutes. I'm also going to recommend now that I did it in the first half, but when you play this, you got to be relaxed with your hands. You can't be so tense. Your hands have to be nice and relaxed where you have full control of the motion you're trying to create. Do you see how it looks effortless when I'm making these transitions? Look at this pinky. You see how I have control of that pinky? I can make it do what I want. It doesn't have a mind of its own, and it's not doing this stuff where I'm coming all like this. So a lot of people, that happens when you're pushing your speed too fast. You want to play this nice and slow and even for a while until you can pick up your speed and you feel relaxed. Once again, I'm going to make some videos of me playing this at the end. So now, let's talk about this palm mute thing. If anybody has heard me talk about palm mutes, the way I like to explain it is where to find the best part of the palm mute is you're going to be holding the side of your pinky area down on your palm. Right here is where I like to put my palm mute, around here, and I barely touch the strings. But it matters where you push down at. You have to get the palm mute to be right at the edge of where your string is that hits the saddles. If you're a little forward, you get that muffle. Watch how I pull it back. Nice, right? So you get that hum. Now the way I want you to work this is you want to find that nice hum. Do you hear how much sustain I'm getting from those strings? I'm barely touching and I'm letting them ring out. Now if I'm pushing too hard, I kill that hum. If I barely touch, nice hum out of it. So now, same riff, so I'm not going to re-explain, but now I'm going to explain to you how you should be practicing this so you can get the best sustain out of those palm mutes. Make sure, once again, palm mute is nice and barely touching, and you're getting that nice hum. Now this is when I don't palm mute. Palm muted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this nice and slow, and I want to feel all that rumble right here as I play. Watch. you see how much more sustain I'm getting out of it? If I'm too forward, I choke the notes. So you got to make sure you play nice and light, you're barely touching. And then that will help you with learning how to sustain those notes when you're muted. Okay, for this video, I'm going to practice them palm muted instead of just open. It'll be a little easier to hear those notes. But please come back and play this open as well. It's the same riff, it's just I'm going to palm mute it so it's a little bit more distinct sounding through video. I'm going to do this at a couple different speeds. So let's get going. Here we go. 1, 2, nice and slow. 3, 4. This is the first note that comes back into the whole riff again, by the way. Now let's do it a little faster. I think I'm going to dump my distortion a little higher, and gives it a little bit more sustain while I play this a little slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually did not like how that distortion just picked up too much. I hope that was okay for you to hear it though. So let's go more of a faster pace now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, that is it for this guitar lesson video. Hope you enjoyed it as always. And if you need more help with this song or other songs or scales or whatever, or if you need help on piano, I teach both instruments and you can learn more about that at mountainsideguitar.com. Thank you for watching this guitar lesson video, and I'll see you on the next one.